Combat Sports Live starts now with your hosts Jamie Ridgeway and Charles Crumpler.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Combat Sports Live. I am your host, Jeremy Ridgeway. With me is my partner in crime, Mr. Charles Crumpler. This hour we'll be bringing you 5 championship rounds of all things combat. And also later in the hour we'll be talking with local gym owner, coach of MMA, and my brother, got to keep it in the family, Mr. Jamie Ridgeway, who just opened up a brand new gym here in Central Virginia. He's going to be with us, sitting in with us today, talking mixed martial arts and all things combat. First up for this hour, we're going to be discussing UFC 112 that happened last weekend. All the sort of events that happened at that event. But the big subject that's coming up is the big subject that we're talking about right now is the biggest featherweight fight, in my opinion, in the history of the sport. We've got Urijah Faber going up against Jose Aldo tonight at WEC 48. Charles, the thing about this fight, I know that you're a big Urijah Faber fan. We both have different opinions about this fight. What are your thoughts? I mean, what do you think is going to happen tonight?
I just think that Faber's experience is going to, be the test of time that's going to get him through this fight tonight. Aldo, if you look at his previous fights, don't see a whole lot of competition there. I think that he's walked through a lot of guys, and Faber's put in the miles and put in the work, and I really think he's going to come on top tonight. I'd like to thank Jamie Ridgeway for having us in his gym today. We're down on Commerce Street at the new Ram, and it's a fabulous location. Jamie, we really appreciate you having us here, and I'd like to say good morning to you.
My pleasure, man. Glad to have you guys here. We're sitting at the top floor looking around, looking at the training facility here, and enjoying the time together, talking MMA. So on a Saturday morning, not a whole lot that I'd like to be doing.
Well, what do you think, Jamie, when you look at this fight card? We've got some great fights that are coming up on this fight card, but of course the biggest one, one of the most anticipated fights of the year. Jose Aldo has just been tearing through his opponents. He hasn't lost a fight in 5 years. He has 6 out of his last 9 fights have been by either KO or TKO. He's 7 years younger than Faber. What do you think is going to happen tonight? I mean, do you think that the youth and the experience that he has in jiu-jitsu, I think that he's got a jiu-jitsu black belt, do you think that that's going to carry the day, or do you think that Urijah Faber's strength and conditioning and experience is going to win? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, they're both athletes. They, definitely the experience level with the jiu-jitsu black belt is going to play in his favor. I think, it might come down to the clinch game. It could come down to who's got the better, boxing or Muay Thai. It's hard to even, look at this fight and count anyone out. I think Urijah Faber has definitely got the athleticism, and he is unpredictable at times. So, this is going to be a fun fight to watch, I think. So,
Charles, what do you think? Jumping in here, who do you think is going to win this fight?
Oh, I'm definitely a Faber fan. I won't go any other direction with it. And I do think that, Jose's coming with a lot of momentum. He hadn't lost in a while. I'm a little suspect of some of his wins. However,
let me interrupt you right there. What do you, when you say he hasn't beaten anybody? Because I'm gonna take issue with that. The guy destroyed Mike Brown, who beat Urijah Faber not once but twice. So when you say he hasn't beaten anybody, he's beat a former world champ that's beat Urijah Faber twice, who he's going to be going up against. What do you think?
Well, if you look what Faber did with Brown, he basically battled him for 5 rounds in the second fight with 2 broken hands, and about beating with elbows. So, if Urijah Faber gets to the second fight with Mike Brown without injury, I think he demolishes him just like Aldo. He made a mistake in the first fight. Just like Jamie said, he's very, electric. He comes to the ring with energy. He surprises you with things, and for the first time in a long time, he got surprised with something, and it happens. That's MMA. That's the unique thing about the sport. There's no 8 count. If you make a mistake, it's game, set, match for the evening, and you come back and retool, and you fight another day. The second loss was injury. So if you look at what he's really done and what he could have done to Brown without the injury, what he did against the Sunside, and what he did with the Jens Palmer fight, he's going to come back in, and I think he's going to fight a smart fight, leave some of that electricity, in the locker room, and come out with a game plan to win. And that's just how I see it.
I can agree with that. I mean, I definitely, my typical stance on any fight is I'm going to come out and say exactly who I think should win. I think that this is going to be one of those fights where, when I look at it, it's almost like a toss-up. I mean, you've got so many pros on both sides. I mean, it's like talking about, gold medalists. I mean, if you're talking about a competition with Olympic gold medalists, I mean, the thing that's probably going to spell victory or defeat for either guy is going to be the most minuscule of factors, and it may just come down to which one of them woke up and wanted it bad enough. If I had to pick one, I'd have to go with Jose, simply because of the youth factor. He's 7 years younger than Faber. I'm very suspect of Faber's hands. I'm worried about him breaking his hands. I think that those injuries are going to definitely come into play. And if he gets into a striking game with Jose Aldo, I think he loses that fight because of Jose's speed. And if it goes to the ground, I think that Jose's black belt is going to come into play, and he's going to win it on the ground. So I got Jose winning everywhere, but just by the most minuscule factors. I mean, it's very difficult to make a final determination and just say, oh yeah, he's going to, Aldo's going to come in and destroy him. I don't see that happening. I see it going all 5 rounds, being back and forth. I see it being a war. I'm excited about this fight more than just about any fight that I've seen this year, simply because I know it's going to be 5 rounds of two guys just, going after each other.
And the great thing about that is it's a fight. It's a fight tonight. And we're going to have a show next week, so we'll get to see who was right and who was wrong, and I'm sure we'll be talking to each other about it.
Absolutely. Coming up next segment, we're going to be talking about UFC 112. 112 was probably one of the most controversial UFC fights that we've seen in recent history because of the stunning display by Anderson Silva, the toppling of BJ Penn, the guy that sat on the 155-pound division championship belt for God knows how long. We'll be discussing that, so come on back with us, and we'll tackle those issues when we return here on Combat Sports Live.